Hi, I'm Ashley Lackovich-Van Gorp, and I'm at the Women Deliver conference with Girls Globe. Today I'm sitting next to Daniela Ligiero, and I'm going to ask her a few questions about her work with girls. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
So first I would like to ask what inspires you in your work in fighting violence against girls?
You know, one of the things that for me over my lifetime has been so inspiring is this idea that there's a lot of violence happening and it's really bad, but it doesn't have to be this way. We have over a decade now of evidence that shows that there are programs, that there are interventions, that there are policies that can really make a difference to end and to prevent violence from happening in the very first place. So that's really inspiring for me because sometimes, when I tell people I work on violence, it could feel overwhelming and depressing, and it doesn't have to be that way. And that gives me hope.
Awesome, thank you. So my second question for you is about passing the power. I'm wondering how senior leaders like yourself can pass the power to the next generation of activists. Not an easy question.
It's not, but it's so important. And I think it's upon us to always pay it forward. And I think the older we get, I've been doing this for 25 years now. I remember what it was like to be really young and to be an activist working on these issues. I think it is incumbent upon us as we grow in our careers and as we get older to make that space. And I see it doesn't always happen. I think Women Deliver is a great example of a conference where there's actually a lot of that happening. There's space for young people. There are thousands of young people from all over the world. And so they're models in terms of how we can do that. But I think it's essential to encourage young people, and more than that, to engage them in decision making and to create those spaces for them. Not always easy, but I think really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And so all of that said, then what is one piece of power advice that you would give to a young person?
I think my advice would be don't wait for people to give you power. You need to go out there and you need to claim, first of all, your own power. I'm a survivor of sexual violence in childhood, and that's part of what drew me to this work, is to say, I don't want what happened to me to happen to other girls and women and children around the world. And part of my journey was really realizing the power that I already had inside of me. And I think for a lot of young people, they're still kind of finding that. And it's important to do that first. And then you need to go out there and occupy the space. You need to push. You need to be loud. You need to request it. No one is going to hand you over power.
Right.
And that's a really important lesson. And so when I think about, or I hear about people talking about empowering others, I think it's more about creating the space. It's about amplifying voices. But power is something that you have to find within yourself and you need to claim.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, Daniela.